I want to see him. I stared blankly at Josh Wilde. Josh Wilde said hesitantly, "Madam, please wait a little longer, it'll be fine." I was very clear-headed now, and I knew one thing very well. There must be sleeping pills in the vegetable juice. Ding! Wisnovel reminds you to click the subscribe button in the bottom right corner to read the complete novel. And I couldn't find any sharp objects in the villa or the room. This indicated that Nestor Owen had long been on guard against me. No matter, I had other ways. I coldly smiled and snatched the pen from Josh Wilde's chest, removed the cap, and fiercely slashed my own wrist. Blood dripped down from my fair wrist. Shock and panic flashed in Josh Wilde's eyes, and he tried to stop me. How could I give him that chance? I pointed the pen tip at my own neck. "Right now. Take me to see him immediately. Otherwise, I'll die right in front of you." "All right, I'll take you there right away. Madam, please don't act impulsively." Josh Wilde forced himself to stay calm, persuading me while leading the way. On the white porcelain tiles, there were drops of blood one after another. Every employee of the Owen Group could clearly see my frantic state. "You see, that woman with blood on her hands must be a lunatic. How dare she threaten Assistant Wilde? Such a serious incident has occurred. Why are you all just standing there? Quickly call security. Call the police." "Don't call the police. Don't call security. Unless you want to be fired. Do you know who that woman is?" "I know. That woman is Mr. Owen's fiance. I heard she's a lunatic." "How could Mr. Owen like a lunatic?" "Yes, I am a lunatic. I would rather have the whole world think so. Only then would I have a chance to make Nestor Owen let me go." The reason I dared to hurt myself was because I was very clear that Nestor Owen would not let me die. No, he wouldn't let Bertha die. He loved Bertha so much, almost to the point of madness. I remember, it was in the winter a year ago. Nestor Owen told me that Bertha had a car accident and became a vegetable. Even worse, Bertha was also diagnosed with liver cancer and needed a liver transplant. He had seen my previous prenatal report and knew that my blood type matched Bertha's. Nestor Owen promised me $50 million, begging me to donate my liver. He was so ridiculous, causing the death of my child and still wanting me to help save his beloved Bertha? Sorry. I didn't even look at Nestor Owen and said coldly, "I don't need this $50 million. Find someone else to donate the liver." Nestor Owen's eyes deepened and he left without a word. I thought he had given up on seeking my help, but what I didn't expect was that this bastard Nestor Owen actually used my parents to threaten me. He used his power to make my parents' company owe a huge debt. The usury forced my parents to hide and flee. "Karina, you should go abroad. Mom and Dad are already old. We have had enough in this life, but you are still young. Your life can't be ruined like this." Seeing my dad, wearing tattered clothes in the middle of winter, trembling as he handed me thousands of dollars, I couldn't stop crying. "It's all because of me. All of this is because of me. If I hadn't fallen in love with Nestor Owen, none of this would have happened. My parents raised me with hard work, provided me with everything, and I absolutely can't leave them and live freely on my own. I must save them." I knew that all of this was Nestor Owen's doing behind the scenes. I took the initiative to find him and told him that I was willing to donate my liver to Bertha. The only condition was that he must help my parents repay their debts and save my parents' company. Nestor Owen, who loves Bertha so much, agreed to my request without any hesitation. After various examinations, the hospital confirmed that Bertha and I could undergo a liver transplant surgery. A week later, the liver transplant surgery was successful. I was in the recovery period, and so was Bertha. Nestor Owen was busy at his company, but still came to see Bertha and me. I envied Bertha. She didn't have to do anything, just standing there took away all of Nestor Owen's love. Perhaps it's time for me to let go too. But fate played tricks on me. Just as I was about to leave the hospital, I saw a news report. The chairman and the chairman's wife of the Smith Group were forced to fall to their deaths. I confirmed the information over and over. I didn't read it wrong. The couple who fell to their deaths were my parents. Nestor Owen. It was Nestor Owen. "Why did you lie to me? Why? You killed my parents, and I will make you suffer for the rest of your life." I wiped away the tears from my face and walked numbly to the side ward. Bertha lay quietly on the hospital bed, like a puppet. Her face was pale, lying motionless on the bed. Bertha was very beautiful, with a mole under the corner of her eye. I remember Nestor Owen also had one. It seems they are really a perfect match. No wonder Nestor Owen loves her so much. Even if Bertha has become a vegetable, he still loves her. I can't even compare to a vegetable. It's really ridiculous. "I'm sorry," I murmured as I pushed Bertha's bed to the window. I opened the glass window, and the winter snow drifted in, romantic and beautiful. The nurse noticed the strange movement and rushed in. "Miss Karina, what are you doing? It's very dangerous." I smiled slightly, helped the vegetable Bertha up, and leaned her against the table by the open window. "Please, ask Nestor Owen to come and see me." The heavy snow dyed Nestor Owen's hair white. He stared at me with intense eyes, like a demon from hell. "Why? Why did you kill my parents? Do you know they were my only family?" Tears kept falling from my eyes. "Nestor Owen, the biggest mistake I made in my life was falling in love with you. You killed our child, killed my parents. Now, I want you to regret for the rest of your life. I will kill the person you love the most. I no longer have any desires in my life. just darkness. Nestor Owen sneered, his eyes filled with malice that sent shivers down my spine. If you want to die, then go ahead and die. Do you think I'll be threatened by you? I'll be very satisfied and happy when you die. His voice was rough and malicious. And, do you know where the body of your child is now? I felt a chill all over, not understanding his words. Nestor Owen tilted his head and smirked lightly. Do you remember the barbecue that day? Barbecue, that barbecue. I was trembling all over, my mind blank. The one who deserves to die the most is you. Why haven't you died yet? Nestor Owen urged repeatedly. I couldn't face all of this, and I couldn't continue to live in this world. I screamed, pushed the vegetable Bertha away, and leaped. Intense pain spread throughout my body. I could feel the blood draining. I saw the pure white snowflakes blending with the bright red blood, creating a stunning picture. As long as I don't stay in this world, heaven or hell is fine. I devoutly made a wish, but instead of heaven or hell, I was forced into Nestor Owen's beloved and into Bertha's body. The past tormented me, but I always feel that if my life could start over, it would be to let me make a new choice. Either start a new life without Nestor Owen, or take revenge on Nestor Owen. I pushed away the memories in my mind and forced Josh Wilde to open the door to the conference room. Around the large rectangular table, there were more than 20 elders of the Owen Group board. Nestor Owen, come here. I waved my left hand, which was bleeding from the wrist, and motioned to Nestor Owen. I wanted everyone in the entire group to know that I was a lunatic. What's going on? Nestor Owen looked up and glanced at Josh Wilde with astonishment. Josh Wilde trembled all over, afraid of losing his job. Mr. Owen, it was my fault that I didn't take good care of the lady. Nestor Owen ignored the elders of the board. He stood up and walked to me. Karina, put down the pen. His voice was gentle, like a clear spring in the mountains. Come here, I have something to tell you. I tried to make my voice gentle. Only Nestor Owen let his guard down, and that's when I can make my move. After a moment of contemplation, his clear eyes stared at me, and he agreed. Okay. Decisive, without any hesitation, Nestor Owen walked to my side, and everyone else gasped. Mr. Owen, should I call the security guards? He didn't speak, just stared at me. I saw the blood-soaked gauze still stuck to his neck, and his face was covered in scratch marks. A strange sense of sadness rose in my heart, and my eyes suddenly felt hot. I can't afford to be soft-hearted, I told myself. Forcing a faint smile and enduring the pain in my feet, I walked towards Nestor Owen. I miss you. I want to hug you. I wrapped my slender arms around his shoulders. A hint of surprise flashed in Nestor Owen's gentle eyes, and he nodded with a smile, like a well-behaved puppy. I tightened my grip on the pen, leaned my head on his shoulder, and said in a cold voice, Nestor Owen, this is the last time I'm telling you. Either let me go, or I'll make you die. I'm not afraid of death, and I won't let you go. Nestor Owen's voice was gentle yet resolute. Well, this was his choice, no one to blame. I raised the pen and fiercely stabbed it into his neck. There was a sound of flesh being pierced. Nestor Owen didn't dodge, just softly called out, Karina, I love you. You go to hell. The hatred surged in my heart, and I screamed, pulling out the pen, wanting to stab again. The security guards arrived in time, restrained me, and snatched the pen away. Josh Wilde quickly stepped forward to cover Nestor Owen's bleeding neck. Nestor Owen, stop pretending. I stared at him, cursing, but there was a strange sense of pain in my heart. What's going on? I hated him so much. How could I feel sad for him? I saw all the members of the group pointing at me, calling me crazy, and asking Nestor Owen to send me to a mental hospital. As long as I could leave Nestor Owen, what did it matter to go to the mental hospital? I burst into crazy laughter, tears streaming down uncontrollably from the corners of my eyes. Is it over? I thought Nestor Owen, who cared so much about status and position, would definitely be ruthless towards me for causing a scene in the meeting room. However, I was wrong. Nestor Owen asked Josh Wilde to send me back to the villa, and my range of activities was no longer limited to just the villa. As long as I obediently drank the vegetable and fruit juice, I could move anywhere in the villa's estate, but there would always be a personal bodyguard by my side. 3 days later, Nestor Owen, who had passed the danger period, returned to the villa. I drank the vegetable and fruit juice handed to me by the servant and headed towards the bathroom. I'll take a shower first before seeing him. I lied without batting an eye and walked into the bathroom. Closing the door, I turned on the shower. Then, I put my fingers in my throat and began to move them back and forth. After a while, I vomited out all the greenish-yellow vegetable and fruit juice cleanly. The sound of running water covered the sound of my vomiting. I acted out the whole performance, just to avoid suspicion. I ignored the pain in my hands and feet and took a shower while I was at it. Half an hour later, I opened the bathroom door. Finished showering? A familiar gentle voice sounded in my ear, making me tremble. Your wounds haven't healed yet. You can't get them wet. Nestor Owen took my hand and helped me to the edge of the bed. He took the towel handed to him by the servant and gently wiped my hair. Then, Nestor Owen carefully disinfected my feet and hands as if they were treasures, applied medicine, and bandaged them. The servant took away the first aid kit, and Nestor Owen picked up the hairdryer, running his large fingers through my wet hair. The warm air brushed against the back of my neck, and I felt like everything was like a dream. Karina, let's get married. Nestor Owen held me in his arms and said softly, Get married? Haha, it's just ridiculous. I sneered in my heart heart, but I understood that this was my only chance to escape from here. Okay, I agreed woodenly. I want to pick my own wedding dress. Okay. Nestor Owen's tone was filled with joy. I want to pick my own diamond ring. I made one request after another, creating more opportunities for myself to escape. Nestor Owen smiled with no hesitation, agreeing to each one. Late at night, I lay in bed thinking about my escape plan, but I heard the laughter of children in the garden. How could there be children here? I got up in confusion and looked downstairs through the tempered glass window. I saw a lovely little boy standing by the fence where roses were in full bloom. In the moonlight, I could see the little boy's face clearly. His skin was fair, his cheeks were round, and there was a mole beneath his upturned eyes. Nestor Owen also had a mole at the corner of his eye. Who is this little boy? Why have I never seen him before? The little boy seemed to feel my gaze and looked up at me. He waved at me with a big smile on his face. I nodded involuntarily and walked towards the door. I felt like I knew this little boy somehow, but before I could take a few steps, a large hand wrapped around my waist. Karina, what's wrong? Nestor Owen's gentle and humble voice came into my ears. Nothing. I suppressed my curiosity and endured the disgust and nausea, then lay back on the bed.